Welcome to RevRender Garage.
And this is the South Side shop tour.
We don't have a lot of space to work with, and so what we're focusing on today is showing you the little space that we have, what we've done with it, and how that helps us maximize. Up at Sean's shop up north, he focuses more on the fabrication, designing. You know, he's got a plasma table up there. He's got a bit more room to work than we do down here. But what we'd like to focus on down here more so is the flipping. A lot of flipping. So this is more of an auto bay, if you will, where we're bringing in the bikes or scooters, whatever, being able to work on them. But wanted to just give you a quick tour of what we got going on in here. We do love our Harbor Freight. US General, absolutely. Just actually had a huge compressor here. Although it relatively wasn't that noisy, it just never got used. I don't know about you guys. Drop a comment. Let me know. Like, I've gone to all battery powered stuff. So I went from a 26-gallon compressor to a 1-gallon compressor because really all I'm using this for is for powder coating. I need 30 PSI. This will do 125, which is overkill. And not to mention, this thing is deathly quiet. I just turned it on, it's running. I don't even think you'll probably be able to hear that in the video, but that's how quiet it is. So it's the Fortress model from Harbor Freight. So moving on, just literally got our tools and some workspace here. This back here is what we call a multi-board. We do a lot of 3D printing down here and up at the other shop. But the multi-board, all of these tiles, there's 48 of them total making up this whole board right here. We're going to do an extended video for Austin's shop showing how we create this whole multi-board, but it starts with these 8-inch by 8-inch tiles that we create. But you can print out hooks. I've got safety glass holders. I've got bins. I've got wrench holders, screwdriver holders, scissor holders, micrometers, you name it. This is actually a battery powered Dremel that I use a lot and I love it. Of course, Harbor Freight, it's Bauer. It runs off their Bauer batteries. Got a drill press set up over here just because we do use a drill press from time to time and it just comes in handy to have. 3D printing down here. Also have another 3D printing setup upstairs, but needed one down here because I'm down here so much. You need to be able to monitor these 3D prints, but as well as be able to start them and just get these prints going, especially when you're doing something like a multi-board. When you have to just print so many of these tiles out, it comes in really handy. We've got a storage up here. These are starting to accumulate. Need to go out and get more bins, but those are just all parts that we pulled off scooters, things like that.
Hey, it's Austin here, just jumping in. Just wanted to remind you guys, it's definitely not a paid promotion, you know, shouting out anything from Harbor Freight or Amazon or anything that we use. It's just stuff that we've came to really like and use on a almost daily basis and just have had enough experience with it to, you know, give you guys a honest review, and if it's worth it, it's worth it. If it's not, it's not.
All right, right here. This used to be connected to that pole over there. It just wasn't feasible because it wasn't sturdy, honestly. So I detached it from that pole, decided to put some casters on there, made this into a rolling workbench, which has been extremely helpful because we have a little welder in here, got all of our welding supplies in here, a metal cutoff saw in here if we need it. This is our small oven that we use for powder coating. We don't have the capacity to do large powder coating parts. We're also not a powder coating shop. We do have a lot of things that we do like to powder coat though, and this takes care of a lot of that small stuff. We've got our plate so we can ground our welding projects on there. Put some power on the end of this table, just so when we have to wheel it out, we still have power. Doing any kind of welding or grinding or anything like that where we don't want to be in the garage. Got our US General again. US General, love this cart for loading up the tools, bringing it out in the driveway if we need to work on anything.
With this, if there's anything that we're trying to powder coat that is too big for this, that's when we resort to the North Shop, send it up to Sean. He has a bigger oven.
This is what we came up with for powder coating. It did come from Harbor Freight, of course. Because we don't do huge parts, this is about all we need right in here. The important thing about powder coating is making sure that the project is grounded. So we're using this metal contraption up here. I can hook my grounding clip to that. The project can hang from these little hooks, and then we can spin it around while we powder coat it. But that's what works out for us in our limited space. We're trying to teach you guys, again, how to do this stuff on a budget, how to do it without a major shop to work in. We do some pretty cool stuff down here. And you can see we don't have a lot of space to work with. As you can see, got a couple scooters in here. This one is definitely my favorite. This is my one that I ride whenever we go out. But the blue one back here is actually my first one. I saw one of these on Facebook Marketplace and I was like, holy cow, I gotta have one of these scooters. This is like nothing I've ever seen before. Like a ruckus, but not like a ruckus, cooler than a ruckus. A chuckus. They're already stretched out. This was my first one, and then I ran across a deal on this red one. It had been laid over, so this whole battery box was broken underneath. It ran totally fine, rode the thing down the guy's driveway and back, loaded it in the trailer, gave him some money and brought it home. But been able to really customize this one a little bit more. Got this white Grom clone back here. Austin actually found this deal right here. Found this white Grom clone with a 2017 Dex like 150cc scooter. It's the Cadillac one if you've seen our rust
removing video.
Yeah, rust removing video. That was a scooter that was paired with this one. Picked both of these scooters up with
clean titles. Clean titles.
For $800. Yeah, sold the one we did the Chrome video on, the Cadillac scooter this last Friday for $950. So
with putting no money into it. All we did was tune the carburetor and get it running.
$150 ahead already on that scooter. Still got this Grom clone to go. We've got this Grom clone running.
This one's actually has a 190cc motor swap.
Ordering a more performance carb for it, getting this thing tuned up, but it's probably going back for sale because I have another bike that we will be acquiring here shortly. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed the tour of our small south shop down here.
Now we'll send it up to Sean up at the north shop and see what he's working with.
Hey there, welcome back to RevRender Garage. I am still Sean, and today we are going to take a little tour of the facilities that I create in, aka my garage. I've been in this house for about 25 years now, and this garage has gone through many incarnations, and it used to be just an empty garage, then turned into a big wood shop, then turned into an RC car workshop. Was very into that. I then refurbished arcade machines out here for a while. Then it became basically just a big garbage. It was horrible. So I have taken it back over and I have turned it into what I love doing. And so today we're going to take a look around. Follow me. Real quick, I couldn't make this video without the help of my very beautiful better half here. So everyone say hi to Katie. Thank you, Katie. I just had to say hi and introduce her. You'll see her more in the future. So thank you. So this is the little welding area that we have. I try to keep it out in the open a little bit because of the sparks, but it's a small yet effective welding station. I picked up this Vevor welding table, got all of our welding clamps, everything that we need for that. I originally bought a titanium flux core welder from Harbor Freight. Quickly found out that it has a lot of spatter and spray. So I was able to get a hold of a Hobart handler 135 over there. Makes welding much easier, a lot cleaner. So let's move on. Over here we have the Media Blaster picked up at Harbor Freight. This one works pretty killer for the price. Kind of hard to see, but it just rolls out and it's got a bag and it's a dust collector. Keeps a lot of the material from flying around in here. And then this is the air compressor that I use for it. That's where we clean up parts. This right here is the work area. Not the biggest, but it's clean. Couple scooters in here. You can get one over here. I've got room to park them that way, and I've got room to park one that way as well. But this is kind of where most of the work gets done on these. I've got another tool chest over here that has all the standard tools, anything that you would really need out here, so you don't have to venture back that way. My trusty stool. Love this thing. Yeah, this is the work area. This is the latest addition to the shop. This is my Langmuir Systems CNC plasma table. There's a small learning curve on it, but I'm making progress and have actually created a few parts for some of my scooters. I had to wire a 220 outlet in here. Got some of my standard tools that I need up here. It's a pretty cool piece of machinery. It is powered by a titanium 45 Harbor Freight plasma machine. So we've got this cordoned off area. This table throws a lot of sparks, and have built this little pony wall. Just wanted to keep some separation from those and the shop. Let's move on. Over here, we have one of the most used tools in my shop, which is the sander. I also have another sander just over there. Doesn't get used nearly as often, so we can just roll it out when we need it. Down here, just a little tire balancer. We'll move on. When you're working on scooters, flipping them, customizing them, you tend to come up with a lot of scooter parts. This is a lot of the stuff that, you know, could end up being used someday. It works well for sourcing parts on project scooters when they're missing stuff. So this is starting to get into the heart of where I prototype everything. These are my 3D printers. They have allowed me to spew out so much creativity. Currently right now, they are working on printing out end caps for a project I'm working on for these speedometer mounts. You'll see that in a video of ours if you haven't already. And so we're just going to let them work away. What's nice about 3D printers, set it, forget it. You walk away and you just leave it and it does all the work for you. Up here, I have printed out a ton of the filaments that we have here in the shop. These are all our filaments. Let's move on. Here we're out in my, what I call my garage office, or AKA my Cadding station. I've got my trusty computer here, my Cadding monitor, and of course my Echo Show so I can watch my YouTube while I'm working. What you see on the screen is just Fusion 360. It's what I CAD all my stuff up in. And then what I can do from there is I can export that over to our Creality software, which will slice it up, get it ready for the 3D printers. The other thing I can do is I can export this as a project that will be used on the plasma table. The plasma table is completely controlled over here. Phone mount up here. I do a ton of videos here talking about what we're actually working on. Cute little US General box, which holds all of my microphones and my video gear. Let's move on to the main work area. All right, so this is kind of my main work area right here. I've loaded it up with tons of tool storage space. This is my main toolbox right here. I've got another one that contains various tools, tons of 3D printer stuff, as well as these tool chests right here. We've got a drill press down here, an oven down here for small powder coating jobs, all my sanders, trusty vise, got a bunch of wire there, all of our bonus bolts and stuff right here, my TV up there. You got to have a TV in your shop. All right, when I'm doing powder coating in the garage here, I usually get everything prepped over here. At that point, we should have our entire station outside already set up and ready to go. That's where we store all of the powder coat colors. Whenever I get a new powder coat color, I make what I refer to as a little swatch of it, and these trays contain all of the swatches. And so it tells you the name of it. I usually make multiple versions of it so you can see what you can do with those colors. Let's walk out and see where we actually do the powder coating. Hey, we are outside where I do most of my powder coating here. Actually, all my powder coating. I don't powder coat inside. As you can see, love the color red, love the color blue. I'm not lying when I say it does get messy. We refer to this as the Ghetto garage. You can kind of see why, but it's a nice undercover area behind the shop here. We've got a separate little biscuit donut air compressor. I've got my Harbor Freight central machinery powder coating gun. I have been able to do much bigger powder coating projects. Having this oven out here, take you inside and finish up the rest of the shop tour. Kind of at the heart of the operation here, because I do use my air compressor for a lot of stuff, is my air compressor. A central pneumatic air compressor from, guess where? Harbor Freight. If you guessed that, you guessed correctly. This is the baby of the shop. This is my kerosene heater. I absolutely love this thing. It fires this place right up. Also off to the side here, this does not get used that often, and that is why it's off to the side. Takes care of cutting some of our bigger metal objects. I want to wrap up this shop tour by showing you some of our toys. Now we're on to the exciting part. This is one of my personal scooters, which I have named Bruiser because of all the black and blue accents on it. I love riding this thing. This is a Gen 1 2023 Mad Dog. This right here is a Gen 5 2023 Mad Dog scooter. I picked this up for a song and a dance from a guy. He had about 40 miles on it. Apparently smacked it into a curb or something. It freaked him out. So he didn't want it anymore. Picked it up at a great price. What I've been doing on this one is just customizing it and tricking it out. Katie's beautiful Buddy 50, genuine Buddy 50 here when it's nice out. My Can-Am Riker. This is a 2022 Can-Am Riker 900 Sport Ace. It is an absolute blast to ride. I cannot tell you how Katie begs me to ride this thing constantly. She's like, come on, boyfriend, please take me out on it. And I'm like, woman, enough. No. It is fun to ride. It's a blast. And then right around the corner here is the first Mad Dog scooter that I ever picked up. This one has been powder coated from head to toe. And we're going to show this off in another video. I store these over here. That's pretty much it for the tour of our shop. Thanks for watching another episode of RevRender Garage. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Keep telling them until they start telling their friends.